Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, I have been slacking. I must have had 4 days where I did not log in to the game. Probably on my Tuesdays where I have my days off and try and spend my time with my family. So I do not yet have a Visix. However, I'm going to do a top 12 legendaries that I think need a buff. And guess who may well feature in that list. So let's get straight into it. Most of these are going to come straight from my champion tier list. So if you don't know, I've got a champion tier list in the description below. On that champion tier list, I basically have got, does the champion need books, yes or no? Or if they do, where would you like them to fall? I've got a rating out of 6 for all different areas of the game. 6 being like proper MVP. Most people are just rated 1 to 5. 6 has got to be like proper standout. I've got a link to any guides that I've done for those champions. I've got the masteries, how I've got them set on my account, and I've got their stats and gear, how they are set on my account. Does not mean that's the best thing in the game ever, just means that's how I've got them set, and then I've just written what they're set for right now. So, feel free to use that, but let's get into this. 12 worst legendaries in my opinion. And what's a shame here is there are a few Void champions in the mix. So, you'd expect from Void champions to have actually much stronger kits. So we're going to start then with the first one on the list. And that is going to be... What's my dot here? Oh, I just got my phone. That is going to be an Orc. So my first one on the list, I do have this guy. Growhack the Bloodied. Growhack, I mean, he's actually got pretty good base stats. So in terms of just general stats, they work. But his kit is just weak for a legendary. So you've got an A1 with a chance to decrease speed. That's not bad. You've got an A2 AoE ability. Fills his champion's turn meter by 20% for each enemy under a speed decrease buff. Sorry, a decreased speed debuff. So what it's basically saying here is you need to do a bunch of A1s before your A2 works. Or you have to synergize them with someone else that's already got this decreased speed to make this... turn meter fill work. So it's too situational and it doesn't hit very hard. So like you've got two things which are quite weak about a legendary champion. You then got his third one, which is attack one enemy and steals the target's turn meter. On the face of it, it kind of feels good, but when you think about the amount of amount of epic champions that can kind of do the same thing, it's just too weak and it doesn't hit hard enough. So his kit generally just needs a buff. There's too many epics that come in, do what he does, which are much cheaper to book. I mean, it's not cheap here. We're talking 4, 7, 11 legendary books to get him working. Speed in dungeons, auras, kind of okay. But, yeah, Growhack, first on my list, needs a buff. Next one up is in Demon Spawn. And this guy has been buffed several times, and they just cannot get him right. More too macabre. Yeah, I mean, he's a cool-looking champion, like, visually awesome. You'd pull this guy and you're like, HP champion, brilliant. Always good to get someone that can sort of naturally stay alive. But his kit is just weak. Heal reduction, A1, single hitter. I mean, the only place this is useful in the game right now, I guess maybe Faction Wars, but generally it's Fire Knights. But a single hitter doesn't fall in line with the heal reduction. You think about a Cold Heart, does a 4-hitter and gets heal reduction out. So it's just a weak A1. Block buffs A2, AoE, it's not too bad for like a arena champ, but his base speed is so low. If you want someone to put block buffs out, they need to go second in your team before the enemy have their go. And it can't be resisted if they're under heal reduction. Well, again, who's putting them under heal reduction? You with your A1? Probably not. Are you going to have 5 goes before you put this out there? So just a kind of weak... if this was just cannot be resisted, it's actually a brilliant ability. So it means he doesn't need accuracy in his kits, and then you can build him in a different way. So, need to change up here. His A3, basic, or not his A3, his passive is a chance to unlock his big move. Yeah, I hate the way they do this chance to unlock the big move thing, because it takes too long to unlock it. 20% chance to unlock Peril every time he has a turn. Now, Peril's cool. Peril's a cool move. Double hitter, block revive, so you can take someone out in the arena. You could take out one of the Ice Golem ads, but it takes so long for him to unlock the ability that by the time he does, there's no point. This is the only piece of his kit that really hits hard as well. So more 2 still needs more work. More work needed. Let's go to the third one then. This is someone who has recently had a buff. Not a good enough buff. Not a good enough buff. You know what I don't like about this guy? His big hitter, so he's got this ability here, attacks all enemies, will inflict a crit against targets under block cooldown skills. Yeah? So you can actually build him with no extra crit rate, massively spike up his crit damage, and hit hard with this. So 2 things. Firstly, there's only 1 champion in the game that 100% will activate this on all opponents, which is not good enough. So there's 1 other legendary, which is Lugan, who can activate this ability. So if you don't have him, then you kind of half activate it with other people, or you have to wait for Bisophus to have another turn, hopefully place it here, but it's only a 50% chance to place. Then if he places it, you've then got a chance of having enough time to get this move off. But he's got a crazy base attack. The other thing I don't like about this is it doesn't smack hard enough. I've had him over 300% crit damage. I've had Lugan set this up for me. I've had him with crazy high attack, and he hit for less than an Abyss, a Candraphon with like 210% crit damage. So he's way undertuned for someone that's so hard to set up. So basically, either change this up or just make his damage multipliers way higher for someone that's so hard to get going. He's got a decreased defense here, 50% chance. He's now become what Abyss was, someone that kind of does half things, and with such a low base defense, he's really hard to keep alive. Low base speed, you can't get him going quickly. Still needs another buff. Let's go into number 4 then. Number 4 is another Orc. I'm sure most of you were expecting this one. Tila. A lot of people say Tila, the worst champion in the game. I can't really argue with it. Attack 1 enemy, steal a random buff. It's okay. It's okay. It's kind of weak sauce, really. Considering her kit is pretty much built around Clan Boss, she needs something here which is Clan Boss related. Still 1 random buff's okay. Drop defense or drop attack is way more effective for someone who's got such weak stats. Look at this base speed, guys. 92 is the base speed of a common champion, not a legendary champion. She's got an HP burn here on her A2. 1 enemy hit, 1 enemy hit. This is an AoE. This one here, places continuous heal. It's just, again, weak source A2. And then A3 is AoE leech, which is nice. I actually like that. But on a 5-turn cooldown, you can never keep it up the whole time. So, it becomes kind of hit and miss. The only place where that's really going to be viable for a 2-turn placing on a 4-turn cooldown if booked, maybe Faction Wars if you're just trying to scrape yourself off the pavement. But yeah, just weak, generally weak stats, doesn't hit very hard, and her kit is just lackluster. So let's go to the next one then. Ogrin Tribes. People argue with me about this one, but I do not see it. Warmother. People say she's got the most consistent decreased attack in the game. It's all well and good, right? It's all well and good, but when she's got terrible base stats and the rest of her kit sucks, it doesn't matter. Yeah? I'd much rather have Coffin Smasher doing my decreased attack that at least brings something else to Clan Boss. If the bomb meta was a bit more... if you were able to get the bomb meta going, then she can be good. But it takes such a hard setup to make bombs work, especially in the current meta. You basically need a Lord Shazar to make her viable at all. You shouldn't have to have one other champion in the game to make a Warmother viable. So, Warmother, I just feel like bombs need a rework, which basically makes her kind of obsolete at the moment. Or she needs different stats. She needs to be able to be kept alive to make this stuff happen. And at the moment, she takes a hit, she flops down on her belly, she's down. So let's move on to the next one then. Skinwalker. Skinwalker, War Chief. I mean, War Chief at one point was strong because reflect damage was strong. Right now, it is weak. He does have crazy good stats. His stats are not the problem. You can keep this guy alive. He's got a really good stat setup. He's got an A1 triple hit, which I think's nice with provoke, kind of like it. A second hit, which is a single hit provoke, with a chance to steal some buffs, and then a reflect damage and defense increase for each dead ally. Well, I'm not being funny. If all your allies are dead, this guy doesn't do enough damage to kill people. So you either need to buff his damage. You need this to be an AoE provoke, not just a single target. Maybe that fixes him. Bit more damage, AoE provoke, and he might be reasonable. But at the moment, reflect damage is... It's only good in PvP, and that's only useful if you're bringing all of the damage in on you, not if you're just bringing, a bit like what Angar does. Angar, AoE provoke, all the damage comes on him, he reflects some damage, and people start to drop. War Chief needs the same. So, next one up then is going to be that login reward. So, we've got our first of the Void Legendary. She's a Dark Elf. Physics, I'm getting her in a few days. I'll probably do a guide on her, but everything I've seen so far in terms of damage levels, kits, everything about her is just weak. Considering it's like a 270-day login reward. You compare her with Scylla the Drakes, she's nowhere near. Compare her with Grush, nowhere near. Even Tanix is probably better. So, just weak. Double hitter on her A1. Each hit has got a chance of taking turn meter. So you can take, 10% turn meter twice. So you can take 20% turn meter if you book her out, for sure, as long as you get your accuracy up. You've got Armiger, who's a uncommon, who does this better than her. You've got Allure, because what this is turn meter manipulation. Forget that she's stealing turn meter, it's manipulating turn meter. Allure does this better, who is an epic. Armiger does this better, who is an uncommon. So, if you're going to make this the big thing about a kit, she's meant to be the turn meter king, queen, whatever, then this needs to be way more effective. She's then got an AoE decreased speed. I like that. But again, compare it to Sylar. Sylar does decreased speed and decreased turn meter in the same move. Sylar, way better than this champion. Places a shield equal to 20% of their max HP. It's kind of nice for Faction Wars. And then she's got place a provoke on one target for one turn and ally protection. So, yeah, provokes don't work on bosses. Single target provoke is kind of weak for Void Legendary, 3-turn cooldown. Ally protection's nice. I'd much rather have ally protection and shield as part of this part. So take this shield here, apply it here, so that the shield and ally protection go together. And I'd then much rather have something else fill the shield role. So something like decrease accuracy, or something like AoE decrease attack, or decrease turn meter, something like that to just make her more viable. At the moment, she's weak. She's got good base stats, but she doesn't do any damage. Just a generally terrible Void Legendary. So we're going to go to the next one then, who was one of the fusions. He was better than people gave him credit for. He is a very much a faction war carry, and he can do some work on arena defense. So those two things he's actually pretty good for. Mainly because his affinity is good against the arena meta. All the arena damage dealers tend to be magic, so his affinity is strong, and you can build him as an absolute meat shield. But that's all he is. He's a meat shield. He still, in my opinion, he still needs one or two things happening. So he's got an A1 which does heal reduction. Again, it's like a meh. It's okay. Fire Knights is not bad. A2, strengthen is good. Single target provoke is bad. 75% chance. So either give him 100% chance to provoke, forget the books, or let him have an AoE provoke. This guy's got an AoE provoke. He is solid, by the way. That's all it needs. AoE provoke, he becomes a solid champion. Both of his passives don't work. Neither passive is worth using in the game. So you build a guy that's got some fun stuff, but then you make it so that he can't be used. Decreasing max HP by 20% takes so freaking long, it's insane. If this was 5%, I don't know, maybe 5%, and then it kicks in, it's worthwhile. Or if it was just when one of your team is attacked, there's a 50% chance that True Fear procs. It's a cool passive. As it is, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So it makes it completely useless. And this passive here is a bit of a meme passive, Skull Swan is terrible, so you're not going to pair him with Skull Swan. Give him a passive that revives any non-legendary Lizardman, but on a 5-turn cooldown. Make it useful for Faction Wars. Make it useful for Doom Tower. Make you want to bring him in some sort of teammate that's cool. Yeah, or any attack-based Lizardman. I don't know, but something other than just Skull Swan that no one wants to use because he's just a bad champ. So all the base stats are good. Base damage is okay considering how much of a meat shield he is, but his kit just needs still a bit more love. Next one up is another Void Legendary. It's going to be the last one for this list. I can't believe this guy was not on the buff list first time round. I cannot believe it. Baron. At one point, Baron was a god in this game. He was insanely strong. They nerfed him into the ground, and he stayed there. He's sitting beside Rotus right now. He's like, dude, when do we get our day again? And Rotus is like, I don't know. So very similar to Mortu, right? With Mortu and this guy, they both got that same ability, which needs to be unlocked. So we've got, and again, like the base speed of a common, the looks of a god, an ability which is locked of a god, but we can't get to it. We cannot get to it. So it's just a shocker. 10% chance to unlock Sky Piercer. That's his good skill. 20% chance to unlock Sky Piercer on a single target move. 40% on a single target. Like, give this guy some love. Make one of these AoE so that it's useful. Just give him an AoE decreased defense. And then he's useful. And then if you unlock Sky Piercer, it's a bonus. Give him another 10 speed. And give him a chance to unlock Sky Piercer by getting some turns. Up this to 20, this to 40, this to like 80 or something. Just make people scared of him in the arena, because that's where his kit is built for, but you can't use him because you don't get enough turns in the arena to make him work. Totally redundant champion. Definitely needs some love. So we're going on to number 10, which is going to be another one of the recent fusions. And it's going to be, where am I looking? Druckel. Druckel, I tried him a ton. I kept trying him in different comps. People would say, well, why didn't you try him like this? I did. He was still bad. I try and play him in my Faction War team just because I feel like I need to. His kit is just weak. One stun, fine. Happy with that. A2, increase attack and defense is very cool. This block damage just needs to be buffed. It needs to be block damage for one turn with allies with less than 60% HP on a 5-turn cooldown. That would be cool. 30%, they're probably already dead. And then this ability here with his shield and counterattack. This is where you could have the most fun with this champion, right? Change the counterattack that whenever the shield is expired, removed, or broken, your team will counterattack. You do that, this guy becomes awesome. Really good. He becomes literally from bottom 10 to top 20 or something. Just change that, because at the moment it expires, nothing happens, the enemy are laughing in your face. It's just weak. So Druckel needs a buff. Got 2 more to do, guys. 2 more in the list. Next one up is going to be... he's not there. Where am I looking? Next one up is going to be Errol. Errol's got some fun stuff in his kit. He can be quite cool in the arena. He's got this triple hit, which hits hard. It does hit hard. He's got still buffs, and then he hits hard. So most of his stuff is good. It's very difficult to keep alive. 837 defense. I get that if you've got someone who's a full-on nuke, then they can't have everything. And he is a full-on nuke, but he's so weak in terms of keeping him alive that... And he doesn't do AoE damage. So he's literally just a one-shot king. He could go in, one-shot someone, but then he doesn't one-shot them and block their revive. So, who are you doing that to? So he gets one turn, he'll kill someone off the board. They can be resurrected. He just needs some love, because at the moment, I don't know where you play him other than the arena. And the arena, he's just overshadowed by tons of champions. So I would say give him some more survivability. Or give him something like Candrafon where, you know, he has a passive that reduces a certain amount of damage coming into him if he kills someone. So if he kills someone, he has a passive that reduces the next 50% of damage that comes into him for one turn. Or if he kills someone, it's a block revive. Could be cool. But at the moment, it's just too easy to kill, and he's only a one-shot, one-trick pony, basically. The last one on the list then, guys, is someone that I've got two of. And it's really frustrating when you get yourself a legendary champ and really they just don't do their job. So we're going to be talking about, where is he? Night Revenants. Whirling Frost King. So loads of people are going to have this guy. He was part of the original Battle Pass. Looks very cool. Looks like he should smack. He doesn't smack. He's got good base stats. His kit is fine. I actually like his kit. His kit is really good. They just need to increase his multipliers. They need to give him more multipliers so that he's more relevant in the game. Because I tell you what, he would be really good in the current arena meta. He can boost your damage. He's pretty cool for clan boss here. But he hits so weak source that he's just not viable. Just not viable for really a legendary, void legendary champion. It's just not in the same category as pretty much anyone else in the void legendaries, apart from the two that I've just spoke about there. So Whirling Frost King, just give him some multiplier love, and I think that he comes out of his shell and starts to be a decent champ. He's got an AoE hit here. He's got a cool buff here. Maybe this and then gets an extra turn could be very cool if you're not going to change his multipliers. Like, let him place this and then let him do this, and all of a sudden you've given your team a ton of buffs, and you've done a little bit of damage to the enemy. But yeah, guys, look, that's going to be it for this video. 12 legendaries, which I desperately feel like they need a buff. Let me know your thoughts on these champions. Is there any that I've missed that you're just like, hell, Hades, what are you smoking? Why is that champion not on the list? Comment below. Otherwise, I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you in a video soon.